Welcome to Get in the Ring with DJ D Coops and Beast Mike on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Yes, it is. It's time to get in the ring with DJ D Cooks and my cohort in crime, Beast Mike.
Yeah, man. We are tag team partners in this show, as we've always been. It's a really... I think we're just trying to recover from what Takeover was.
And what AEW was.
And what AEW in Atlanta last night was. Those shows were hot this week. Those shows were really hot this week.
Did you see the promo that Cody cut afterwards on
Twitter?
Yeah,
I did. I thought it was nice. I thought it was a really, really nice touch that Cody showed.
Did you see the promo that Ospreay cut?
I did not see Ospreay's. I definitely did see Cody's, and I think Atlanta's crowd was hot. Atlanta's crowd was on fire the whole night.
Which crowd was better, last week's in Austin or this week's in Atlanta?
Ooh.
It's so hard. I would say Austin.
That's tough. I go slightly Atlanta, but it's tough. There really was no wrong answer because both crowds were good. Both crowds were very, very good.
When you give crowds a great show.
Mm-hmm.
And then NXT was there, boring. But
I
want to talk about two things before we go.
Yeah.
Before we go into wrestling. One life shit and then one plug because Mike knows what I'm going to talk about. He retweeted it, and then something that's close to both of our hearts, actually.
Mm-hmm. That
I was talking to him about before we recorded. So I got a certificate on Wednesday that Mike retweeted. It was awesome. One of the most fulfilling, important seminars, am I right? It was a Mental Health Recovery Seminar 1, RAP. It's a living and breathing document, essentially. I can't explain the whole program. It's a 2-day seminar. If it comes to your town, definitely take it. You get 35 total training hours. Taking it. And it's incredible. It's very inspiring. And I took charge in my mental health recovery, so very good stuff. And the second one near and dear to me and Mike's heart because we met at this place.
This was the stage. Good.
Stage that they gave us.
Yes. Montco Radio is a stage where, like you said, he actually met me during the show I hosted called the Sports Lounge, and we struck up a relationship then because he came on my shows then, and later on
with DJ Corona.
Yeah, with DJ Corona as well, and later on we developed a friendship because we both love sports, and we both kind of realized, okay, we're big into wrestling. I'm definitely more domestic when it comes to my wrestling passion, and he's definitely more foreign with his. He doesn't just do WWE. So we kind of struck up with wrestling, and that's kind of how I got into New Japan and kind of stuff outside of WWE. So eventually, he ended up doing a show called Get in the Ring, which now
we're doing right now.
Coming up, which is obviously spawned into this, and the show that D Cooks has got planned is heavy. Let's talk about it.
The Montco Wrestling Express. There's a lineage of wrestling shows in Montco Radio wrestling history. the redshirt player experience.
Mm-hmm.
He did
Good guy.
with RSP. Derek the Hoon Calhoun. You might not know these names, but you will get to know these names if you listen to the Montco Wrestling Experience and the Hoon Experience. He's doing a show 10 a.m. Rockstar Rob's doing his 8 a.m. show. I can advertise that with Hoon. April 4th is the day. So Takeover Day.
The day of Takeover Tampa
2020. Is the day of the alumni broadcast. You can listen all day and tune in, MoncoRadio.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's where you used to have to listen to us exclusively.
Yes.
Before I learned how to record this show. Before I used to have to take a flash drive and record the show.
Right. That's right. Yeah, in the studio, because they didn't have the I guess we didn't use Skype or whatever until
we didn't use Skype.
Yeah.
So, we Skype our guests.
Right.
Because they had a computer. Right.
So that's why he had to take a flash drive.
I would have Semper VV on every week before I had Beast Mike on because I needed someone to talk to. Because I used to host a show called The Chat Down with somebody who was not good at hosting a wrestling show.
Right.
Who used to host it with Beats Mike, and he did not like the Japanese wrestling. He just wanted to go on about.
It was strictly WWE.
Yeah, and I hated that because I'm not passionate about it.
Because you're nowhere near as crazy about WWE as you are about about New Japan or obviously about AEW or PWG.
If he was around now and he said no AEW, I'm like.
He had no shot. Yeah, he has no shot with
he has no shot with me.
Yeah. So naturally, it's been a pretty cool journey with getting the ring and with wrestling in general.
Completely damaged. We have to.
Completely damaged. Yes.
Which is still on the air Mondays at 10 a.m. on MoncoRadio.com, and you can see the podcast on Podomatic and on iTunes and everywhere you can get podcasts with RC and Arthur I can't even do it. The Litman. Jeff Asch is going to be there too.
Now Ben Litman is a guy that obviously I knew from the Sports Lounge, and he was on my shows quite a bit. He's one of my good friends from Montco as well. So he's been on Get in the Ring in the past also.
Yes, and so for people who are confirmed for in studio, me, the executive producer of this and the host. So Morgan Killian Mosely is confirmed for this. Derek the Hoon Calhoun is going to be involved somehow, some way, either a call-in or a in-studio appearance. Matt, the Kiss Room Porter, will be there.
Yes.
He'll be running the day. Maybe in studio, Jeff, Mr. KYW News Radio Asch.
Yes, a guy who I learned very well from. I consider him a mentor, especially for the sports.
I consider him a mentor too. RC Cameron Hall. Hopefully he's there. Arthur and Ben Litman. Beast Mike. He may be making an appearance.
I may make my return. We'll see. I know I'm planning on being kind of sort of busy, but at the very least I will call in. If I am free on that day, I will try to get back to Philly. I will try to get back.
Yeah.
But we will see what goes.
And I would love to see you.
It would be nice to be back on Montco Radio. It would be nice to be back at the old stomping grounds.
And this is going to be bad. So it's live phoners. Beast Mike's guaranteed to at least call in.
So at the very least I'll call in.
So we have Kristen Ashley from Belle to Bells and Daily DDT calling in. Possible Monster Factory involvement. They're guaranteed for the pre-recorded section, which I'm going to get into. Kandi Burton from... She doesn't really have plugged, but she is a caller from Montco Radio. She calls into the Kiss Room. She's a very nice woman from Toronto.
Yeah.
And she's just a charm. She calls into my Heart and Heavy show all the time, too. She's a
Nice.
loyal listener. I would like her to be a part of it because she's a big part of Montco Radio. Jonathan Snowden from Bleacher Report. I just got confirmed that John Carroll, before we started recording from Voices of Wrestling on Bakadze, if he has nothing to do, he'll call in. And I have to get timing with all these people, so more work for me. Pre-recorded messages, so these are going to be 1 to 3 minute MP3 clips. Top 3 wrestling memories, moments associated with Montco Radio. A plug, so they can plug their thing. A well wish from Montco Radio. And then the clips that are not used on the show, on the original hour, will be posted along with the original Montco Wrestling Experience on various on this Social Suplex podcast platform, since I have access to the Social Suplex Brett Circle account. This will be posted on the Social Suplex as part of Getting the Ring. I find it appropriate that it be posted.
No, it's a good way to get back to and show love to where all this began.
So names, I have names confirmed. For this. And then I'll give you the date again and the time. And so John McAdam from the Stick to Wrestling podcast. Barry Rose from the Breaking Kayfabe podcast. I gotta catch up with Barry. We gotta go to Mission Barbecue, Barry. It's been a while. Robert O'Connor, Ghost of Quiones from High Spots. My good friend Bill Apter from Apter's Alley One Wrestling.
A lot
of the Monster Factory students. Danny Cage. Nick Picone from Philly Influencer and the Shooters podcast. Alan Farrell from PW Torch. He sent me the clip this weekend. Sean Rossap, I'm going to record one. Mike, you should record one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell Hoon to record one, too. I'm telling RSP to record one, so
yeah,
since he can't be there, so sorry to call out RSP, but
I'll at the very least do something and to do a soundbite to you. I'll definitely do that.
But April 4th, 2020, 2 to 3 p.m. But listen to the whole day.
Yeah.
Because it's really a good day of music. And
memories and stories. And
stories that
everyone kind of catching up.
Yeah, and this Montco Wrestling Express is really coming together as something special. And that's what I wanted it to be. And I came up with this idea at 12 p.m. today. And it's already coming together.
Within 9 hours, he's already got a stacked list of people who are already confirmed and say, yeah, I'll contribute to it in some way. Within 9.5 hours, he's already got a stacked list. And I've
contacted some pretty big names, too.
Mm-hmm. And it's got some big names. You heard some of them.
I have aces up my sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be announced on this very podcast if I get them.
As the time draws near.
Wink, nudge.
We're about a month and a half, so you think D-Coos is going hard right now with all the names he just listed.
I was talking to Beast Mike before this podcast. He knows what I was doing.
There's some stuff he's trying to drop. I'm not gonna say no names, but there's some stuff he's trying to drop that's big for this. So as time goes on, D-Coos is gonna come out with all the details
knows you need to know. What I'm trying to do for this.
Yes. So he's trying to go harder than even what he's doing right now. Think about this. He did all this in 9 hours. He's got a month and a half left. Do even more before this happens. Think about that.
Think about it. And the best part is I can get Beast Mike back.
I will at the very least call in. I will try to show up there. If I'm not busy, I'll try to get back to Philly to show up and say hi to the people. And even try to do one of my shows. Try to do a Sports Lounge show for an hour. That would also be great. But we'll see if I have time.
I'll add you to the group chat at least.
In Philly. But yeah, I'll definitely try to get back to Philly.
There's some open slots, so.
I will definitely try.
Need you. So let's start with Dynamite because
Okay. So you want to go in inverse order?
I don't even want to cover SmackDown because SmackDown was disgusting this
Yeah,
week.
SmackDown was kind of boring. Yeah, you're right. You honestly, the only thing you missed was that Carmella versus Naomi's happening, and the winner gets Bayley at Super Showdown. But other than that, you really didn't miss anything. Honestly,
The
from SmackDown.
stark contrast between how NXT starts to how AEW starts. AEW starts in the ring with hot action.
AEW came out swinging from the work show.
And then the same monotonous promo in NXT, you know. We'll go back and forth with the Wednesday Night War because I'm passionate.
Okay, so you want to? All right, so I guess Dekus, I think you should cover AEW. I'll cover NXT.
Let's cover Takeover actually first.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, before we do anything, let's go Takeover first. You're right. Let's do Takeover first.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so Takeover was actually good. Let's get that out the way. Takeover was actually a good show. It started out hot with Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic. Love this match. As I mentioned many a time, this is easily my favorite rivalry in WWE, no matter the brand. I love when these two throw down and go hard with it. This kind of had a nice story to it of can you top this, but at the same time, how these two dudes were just throwing bombs at each other. It was just a matter of attrition and who's gonna fall first. The answer was Dijakovic. Although first off, that dive he did with that precision and an accuracy with Lee in the chair between the two tables, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That powerbomb spot where Lee powerbombed and Dijakovic ate it was also dope. It was also crazy. But the match itself was awesome. I will probably go back and watch it after the Flyers game, but it was an awesome match in general. I think I gave it 4 3/4, but this is a really, really good match. I love this match. Lee obviously keeps the title via the Big Bang Catastrophe. Next up, we got another dope match of Dakota Kai, Tegan Nox, the street fight. This was entertaining, but I think D. Coops and I, we both agreed on this as we watched the shows live. We didn't love the ending. Neither of us did. Neither of us were a fan of the ending with the interference. I don't know why. I wish that this was done. The interference was done in their TV match, and then Candice could get involved, and then you got more of a story with a little bit more substance to it. But other than that, the match itself I think was very productive. It was Kai who won the match. It was a solid match. It's just the ending I wish was just done better. I don't think Rodriguez had to get involved in the ending. At least only her. Kind of wish it was just done better there. Gargano Balor was kind of boring, which is disappointing because both guys are capable of so much more than that. The match itself was kind of boring. I really couldn't get into it like I wanted to tell the truth.
On second watch, it was better.
Yeah, I'll rewatch Takeover in its entirety. Just watching it once, it didn't come off as well as I thought it should have. I think they ramped it up towards the end, which was good. Like the first half was, I think, dragged on too long, but the second half I think was good. So it's a solid match. If this is a one-off, I can live with it. Balor gets it done.
It's probably a one-off because
I would imagine it's a one-off. It looks like it's clear that Gargano's doing something different, and Balor's probably going to do something different, as we'll see next week. Belair and Ripley was entertaining. I really did like this match. I enjoyed this from start to finish. I thought this was paced pretty smoothly. I think both women brought it and brought different stuff to the game. The ending, I think, was solid as well. With the modified Riptide, I thought was a nice way to end it, as Bianca couldn't hit the KOD. Rhea retains, and then Charlotte makes her appearance, which we kind of knew was coming and kind of speculated right before it happened. Charlotte appears and declares she's coming for Ripley, and then attacks Bianca right after the fact, after hitting Ripley with natural selection. So we got Charlotte versus Ripley. Charlotte becomes the first Rumble winner to challenge for an NXT title, as opposed to a title on Raw or SmackDown. But this was well done. I think this played off very smoothly. Plus Bianca got her clap back on NXT, which I thought was nice. The tag match was awesome. The tag team title match was incredibly entertaining and frenetically paced. Undisputed Era, O'Reilly and Fish, you could argue absolutely the best NXT team of all time. They've had a really good tag match with the Broserweights. Incredible stuff there. Broserweights getting it done. What I guess the Bro to Sleep or the Riddle End, I think what they call it now. Either way you want to call it, this is a really, really good match. And the Broserweights get it done into the tag champions, which I think is perfectly fine. This screams Undisputed Era gets called up on WrestleMania weekend. All 4 of them. But I think this was highly entertaining from start to finish. Then we get to the title match, which I really enjoyed the story and the determination of both guys and how hard they were willing to go and how far they're willing to go to keep and or get back the NXT Championship. So I love that storyline. Gargano interfering at the end? I guess. I don't love it. I don't love that we could ever clearly running back Gargano and Ciampa again. I don't love that. I would have been perfectly cool with Ciampa winning the title. I thought Cole would retain, but I would have been perfectly cool if Ciampa won the title, and this was another sign of Undisputed Era being called up at the WrestleMania. I'd have been perfectly cool if that was the case, but obviously Cole retains after Gargano's
It was bloated.
It's clear Gargano's going to be heel now with Ciampa being face, so we'll see how this goes down.
It also had diminishing returns.
And that was NXT TakeOver Portland. It was dope. Pretty much every match was very entertaining.
It also had diminishing returns because too many big kickouts and some selling.
I kind of wish Dream and Roddy.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I said
it was kind of for a moment, but yeah, I can hear you.
I said there were some diminishing returns.
Because some matches, you think they dragged on a little bit? You think they could have ended a little bit sooner each match, I guess?
They could have shaved 10 minutes off this match.
Probably. They probably could have chalked up. They probably could have cut time in a lot of different matches. I get it. You want to give everybody time. I get that. And you want to tell a story with every match. I understand that. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But no, it was a very good show. So I'm not gonna completely dump on it. This is their first takeover of the decade. I think it was very good. So I'm not gonna hate on it. All right. So do you want to handle NXT and AEW
Let's
on
do
the side
Raw
by side?
real quick because I'm bored. Raw was not good.
That probably would be the proper route to go.
Raw's not good. It sucks. Moving on. Let's just say that.
Okay. Yeah.
Matt Hardy angle was good. That's it.
No, I didn't really get much out of. I didn't get much out of this Raw. I got little to nothing except for Randy Orton. Yeah, except Raw started hot. Raw was hot to start with, so I will totally give it that. After the Randy Orton stuff, after what Orton did to Matt Hardy, not much else. Not much else that you can really go home with. They basically ended the show this week with the same event last week, minus Joe and minus Rollins. So that was one thing. And with the Street Profits kind of making the save at the very end after Rollins' interference. So you missed nothing there. The Baszler promo with Becky was good. That was perfectly fine. AJ kind of comparing himself to legends, I thought was a nice touch. He's getting closer to WrestleMania season, and apparently the challenge that has been laid down for AJ Styles.
Can the Undertaker really wrestle
at little to nothing with Raw. The women.
Can the Undertaker really wrestle at this point?
Probably not, but I mean, if it's like Extreme Rules was last year, perfectly cool. But I don't know if he's got anything left. Meanwhile, the Flyers just won the game in overtime, Kevin Hayes. But I'd rather not see Taker throw down anymore. He's got nothing left to prove. I just don't think it's necessary. I was perfectly cool. He didn't have to wrestle last year at WrestleMania, and I was perfectly fine with it. It wasn't necessary. It's just not necessary to see him. Undertaker, I'd rather he just get the Hall of Fame.
Can we talk about The Fiend and Hulk Hogan real quick? They're really teasing that.
How the Fiend basically said, you really want to really tease me versus Hogan.
They really teased
Oh
it.
wow, they really did tease Free versus Hogan, and that would be bad for all parties involved. That would be so bad for all parties involved. At least I
Saudi
guess the Fiend would
Arabia.
make it quick. I'd much rather he wrestle Goldberg than Hogan, but at least Fiend would make it quick with Hogan. It would look and sound as bad as we're mockingly make it seem. It would look awful aesthetically, and I'm a Fiend guy, as y'all know. I'm a Fiend guy, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. That would just be awful. So basically on Raw, the one thing you missed was basically the first segment was Randy Orton and Matt Hardy, and then Baszler and Becky's promo I thought was also very good. That had a whole lot of meaning. But other than that, honestly, you didn't really miss too much with Raw. So that's really what happened there. The money stuff was on Wednesday with NXT and especially AEW.
Yeah, because this tag team
As
battle.
NXT returned from Takeover, and AEW
Wholesale
had
has
what
been
felt like
very
a
cold the
pay-per-view event
last few
in
weeks.
Atlanta. It felt like a pay-per-view event. What happened in Atlanta? Because that was absolutely fire.
Yeah, it did feel like fire. It was a spectacle in that cage match.
Yes, it was. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to go segment for segment?
Back and forth.
Yeah, right.
Because
All right,
I have comments.
I'll do NXT and I'll do NXT. You do AEW.
So the number one contenders tag team battle royal competing are the Young Bucks, SCU, the Strong Hearts, making an rare appearance, the Best Friends, the Dark Order. Ooh. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I totally heard that.
Private Party, the Butcher, the Blade, the Bunny. The Bunny wasn't actually in the match.
Same with Orange Cassidy.
Same with Orange Cassidy. I did not want to mention Orange Cassidy. We'll get to the WrestleMania weekend preview.
Mm-hmm.
I mean overview when we get to all that shit that Orange Cassidy's booked in. Santana and Ortiz, the Hybrid 2, and Jurassic Express. So the rules of this time, and you can interject here too, and I can interject the next day.
Yeah, with NXT.
So both teammates have to be tossed for the team to be eliminated, and I like that better.
That's good. No, I like this better than what WWE normally does, which is if one member's out, then you're both out. I'd rather it be both. Provides more drama to the scenario. You can really kind of space everything out.
And there was more flips in this battle royal. This was just a fun battle royal. They told the story of Mac getting isolated.
Matt Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Jackson after Nick got eliminated.
They told a good story of Butcher and Blade versus Jurassic Express.
Yes.
I like to keep that going.
And then it was left to Santana and Ortiz and Matt Jackson. You like my dramatic voice?
I like that you're painting a good picture. You're very much painting a good picture.
Matt fights for his life. Adam Page is giving people tips, like on being the elite. He doesn't give Santana and Ortiz these tips to go for Matt Jackson's balls. Super kick Matt avoids elimination and super kicks Ortiz.
Not to mention that super kick that he gave Sammy Guevara as he tried to interfere. Ooh,
yeah.
So
That
Guevara was out.
That was one of the best super kicks of all time.
You are not kidding. Guevara had no choice but to eat that foot.
And then Santana, he eliminates Santana for the win. This was a really good and fun battle royal. They told several stories.
Mm-hmm.
You go to NXT. Can you do this?
Yeah, I got NXT. So, Undisputed Era kicks off NXT, and basically they really Adam Cole. cut a promo saying, "I told you so." He retains over Ciampa. He made no mention whatsoever to Johnny Gargano's interference, as you would probably expect. And just when it looked like Roddy Strong is about to talk about his match with Velveteen Dream, Velveteen Dream appears on TV to continue to troll Roddy and kind of goat Roddy into saying, "Okay, let's have this one-on-one without your boys." Roddy later accepted. Well, you can even skip by that part. But really, it was just a promo segment to start the show. So
and then they have to show
Nuclear Hot.
It wasn't Nuclear Hot. It was Nuclear Cold.
No, I was about to say AEW was started off Nuclear Hot, and NXT started off Ice Cold.
And then they had to show the entrances of Jordan Devlin and Leo Rush, and they had to show the bell ring, and then go to fucking commercial.
That was bad.
Fucking annoyed the fucking shit out of me.
That was bad. I mean, they did double box it at some point during the match, during a commercial break, and the match itself was good, but yeah,
it took me out of the match. I can't give it a rating at that point, and I could give AEW shit a rating.
That first part, I guess, yeah, I can understand that. It just took all the life out of it for you. I get that.
All WWE fans pop for is the entrances and the finishes.
For the most part, unless there's something spectacular in the match itself.
Yeah. Chris Statlander versus China, this was unspectacular.
Right.
Except for Britt Baker on commentary. And she brought me coffee. I love Britt Baker.
And they made somebody show the Starbucks logo. Somebody better be getting sponsored by Starbucks. He better be getting some checks. He better get some checks cut from Starbucks after all this.
And then Nyla Rose arrives and Tony interviews her. And this was a good back and forth.
I like this. And I like it. And we're introducing new women into this game. Where
Big Swole.
Right? Big Swole came out, and Santander, I think, she stayed out there after her match. I like that. I like that we're introducing new women involved, not just Rio and Britt. So we're putting more women on game on this. I like it. That was smart.
John Mox. Oh, your turn.
No, I'll go back to Full Sail. Back to Full Sail to kind of tie a bow on the Devlin versus Leo Rush match. The match itself was good. How they handled the breaks aside, the match itself was actually good. I like that the Leo Rush kind of showed off some more of a ground-based game to combine with this aerial game. I did enjoy that. But ultimately, Devlin was just a little bit too strong, and the Irish Ace was able to finish the deal with a headbutt and Devlin's side to get the pin. So Jordan Devlin retains the NXT Cruiserweight Championship and keeps the title effectively on NXT UK. Right after this, I'll just breeze through this really quickly. Austin Theory was about to have a match. Tommaso Ciampa came out and interrupted him, warned Austin Theory that you should just leave the ring now. You don't want no wars. Austin Theory, unfortunately, his youth got the best of him, and he decided and Ciampa basically tore him apart, literally tossing him from one barricade to the other.
I fast forward through Tommaso Ciampa.
Ciampa was incredibly pissed. So basically, Ciampa wants more heat, obviously.
No, specifically, Tommaso Ciampa promos.
Okay. He is better as a heel. He's much better as a heel when it comes to this promo work.
He's cringeworthy as a face.
You get that eerie sense of he's dead serious about what he's about to do. He's just better as a heel. All right, let's take it back to Atlanta. What happened back in the A?
Jon Moxley versus Jeff Cobb. The real stars are here. This was a good match. This was just a good David versus Goliath match, and they worked over each other.
I like the kind of taste that Jeff Cobb brought to the game. That brought to AEW. The kind of like the sampling that you get of Jeff Cobb. I like it. And Taz on the commentary with it too. I thought it was also a nice touch.
Post-match, Inner Circle attacks until Dustin arrives. Numbers get to him. Lights out. Darby Allin arrives and went wild with a skateboard and as Mox and Jericho come face to face, they brawl. And every match of this pay-per-view feels fucking ice. Not ice. Hot fire.
It is. And you know what happened? The other part about the Darby Allin comeback, the crowd was hot for Darby. The crowd popped nicely for Dustin as he came after Jake Hager, but Darby's return got a mega pop. Like I'm glad Taz brought that out.
I'm gonna spot $50 for this pay-per-view.
This pay-per-view looks like it's gonna be absolute fire. This pay-per-view from start to finish. Okay, the real question is, can this challenge either night of Wrestle Kingdom a show of the year?
Yes.
Because so far, those are the two benchmarks. I'd say night 2 over 1, but those are the two benchmarks for show of the year. And I can agree that this has a real shot.
Not as like match quality, but for storytelling, yes.
Yeah, for story. Yeah, because you got a story in Cody and MJF, and you got another one with the Elite. Well, we'll get to their situation in a moment. But yeah, you got a whole lot of stories in play here. That's absolutely true. Especially with Cody and MJF, which is probably the match I'm most looking forward to right now. Let's see. Taking it back to Full Sail. We got a solid match here. Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza teamed up against the GYVs. As it's clear, the GYVs are starting to establish themselves over on NXT as opposed to UK. GYVs were a well-oiled machine, but I think this match was a little bit too... it just didn't hit the right note for me. But ultimately, GYVs win with the ticket to Mayhem, and it's clear that they're coming after They're coming after the Broserweights.
I was just entertained by Gibson's promo.
Gibson's promo was good. Gibson is very good on the microphone. He absolutely is very good on the mic, no doubt. Speaking of the Broserweights, they celebrated with the crowd and with the people. I do.
And then match joke.
Riddle's hilarious. Riddle is great on the microphone.
Party too hard, so he failed a wellness test.
Riddle is hilarious on the microphone. He is absolutely gold. He's on the short list of best mic work of this year. Him and Britt Baker, and there's probably a couple others, but especially those two are on the short list.
If he ever goes on the main roster, Vince is going to neuter that shit.
Yeah, you're not lying. Yeah, you're not kidding. I kind of want him to stay on NXT. He just fits better. He fits better with that flow and the laid back style of NXT. He just fits better.
Can we make an aside for a second? Baron Corbin saying Dave Meltzer's a cancer.
I did see that.
I did see that. Baron Corbin. Just because you don't like Dave Meltzer.
I mean, I know people got beef with Meltzer. I know Meltzer is not for everybody's taste. But yeah, that's a bit too much, Baron. Come on now. That's a bit too much.
Aaron, just shut the fuck up.
You know he won't, but yeah, he probably should. Speaking of the Broserweights, good match with Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. I kind of wish Burch and Lorcan were NXT UK full time, but I get why they do stuff on NXT. Ultimately, Broserweights get it done and handle business there.
Now to the superior tag match. Holy fuck.
Woo! This match was fire.
This was fire! This was a hot
This
tag.
match was absolute fire. So AEW Tag Team title match. We got Lucha Bros versus Hangman and Kenny. Man, where do you want to begin with this match?
I'm not even going to do a rundown of spots.
This match was absolutely insane. This match was... I for sure thought that the Lucha Bros were done after the Tiger Driver 98. I legit thought they were done after that. And, there were moments where Lucha
Tiger
Bros
Driver 98 would finish off anybody.
Yeah, I'm amazed that he kicked out of that. And there's the spot where Hangman caught Kenny, which I thought that was no, actually Kenny caught Hangman with a clothesline. That was big, and that was crazy. All the spots that they were doing during the match, like all four guys, just going absolute ham. And
Phoenix is the best fucking one of the best wrestlers in the world.
That walk on the tightrope and to Hurricane Rana to the outside was absolutely nuts.
You watch Phoenix sometimes, and he does things so effortlessly, and you're like...
He didn't even struggle walking the ropes on that. There was no struggle
you're
in
like,
that.
I wish he wrestled more singles matches.
Really? Like, seriously, he could make a run. Like, he could make a singles run. If AEW came out with a second title, and I really hope they do, he could make a serious run.
15 minutes and 25 seconds of pure bliss.
No, this was totally awesome. And, like, this was not overdone. Everything made sense. And then the finish was absolutely great. I really enjoyed that as well. Completely great, and obviously sets up the story of the Bucks versus Hangman and Kenny for the tag titles at Revolution. So it was set up, I think, perfectly done. Well done on all parties. Loved it. Taking it back to NXT, Keith Lee cuts a promo. Kona Reeves decided to interrupt it. That match was shorter than the sentence I just said.
10 seconds.
Like I said, the sentence I said in this match up literally was longer than the match itself.
Back to catering for you, Kona.
Yeah, and then Dijakovic wants more heat with Keith Lee. I'm okay with this. And Keith Lee basically said, if Regal agrees to it, we can run it back. So let's do more. I'm cool with that.
Chelsea Green hit a unprettier that wasn't very pretty.
No, it was he
up.
tried to call it an unprettier, but it really wasn't. It was really kind of like a neckbreaker gone wrong. Although the whole point of what made this match pop was obviously Bianca's promo, which I thought was awesome. I thought it was good. I love that she's trying to jump into this whole thing with Charlotte and Rhea. I'm perfectly okay with it. If it becomes a triple threat, let's do it. Let's make it hot. I think that would be a great triple threat. Plus, Bianca versus Charlotte would also be awesome. So let's do more of this. Bianca wants heat with Charlotte. I'm here for this. Let's see it. I'd love to see Bianca invade Raw and attack Charlotte. That'd be perfectly cool. But the match itself with Chelsea Green and Kaden Carter is not that great.
It sucked.
It was pretty bad.
It was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Let's save Cody versus Wardlow last.
Yeah, let's do that last. Right, exactly. So the main event was Velveteen and Roddy, and honestly,
Gentlemen's 3.
It was clunky.
Velveteen Dream was off.
Yeah, he was. He was clearly very rusty. Normally Velveteen Dream's really good, but he was pretty rusty. They threw some shots. There were some solid punches that connected.
Did I tell you that there's a Velveteen Dream Orange Cassidy match?
That exists?
In Evolve.
I kind of want to see that now. I'm going to watch that later. But but Velveteen, I think he's clearly rusty.
Send you the link.
I'm going to watch that match later. I'm definitely going to watch that later. But I think he was rusty.
Amalgamation.
Oh, nice.
Of characters. It sure doesn't.
It doesn't flow like it would right now. Is what you're saying.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why it was booked.
Okay.
Dream versus Orange.
But while he's doing that, Velveteen so the match was strong, very physical. I did like the physicality involved, but it was clear that Velveteen was just not the normal crisp self that he is. So I think that kind of weighed it down a bit. The stuff afterward made sense. Velveteen wins the match with the DVD, but ultimately it was an Undisputed Era that got the last laugh with Fish and O'Reilly doing their move and then doing the high-low, and then we got Roddy Strong doing the end of Heartache to close the show. It seemed like Velveteen Dream's going to do something with TakeOver against somebody from UE. I'm hoping it's Cole. But that's how NXT was. Kind of dry, quite honestly. Except for, and Finn Balor cut a promo saying he's coming after somebody next week. But really, NXT was kind of dry. AEW was not.
No, let me search for this Velveteen Dream Orange Cassidy match. I spelled Velveteen wrong. Wrestling.
Velveteen Dream with some savagery with his tweet. Velveteen Dream with a savage tweet. So Velveteen Dream claims, "Don't tell Roddy, but Marina," that's Marina Shafir, Roddy's wife, "gifted me these lace gloves made from her panties as good luck heading into Wednesday. Safe to say Lady Luck is on my side, and your wife Marina's on the other. Wink. I win, I won, poof, be gone. Velveteen Dream with some frontline savagery. As he continues to troll Roddy Strong extra hard on this with this promo, with all the stuff he's doing. So that was
I found it.
That was NXT this week. Not much really, I would say, great. Some good, but not really great. And we got a main event in Atlanta, the cage match that I think everybody was waiting for ever since MJF put all the steps together with Cody. And it was going to be the battle of Wardlow versus Cody in the cage in the A.
Yes, and Cody juiced. Cody fucking bladed.
Mm-hmm.
Wardlow was okay.
Needs more time. Wardlow's got promise.
He does have promise. He has a fire about him.
I think with more time, Wardlow could really come into his own. I think just give him more matches. I think it'll come into his own and he'll be very good.
They've been keeping him in the wings for a while.
Right.
So.
It seems like it. He seems like a pet project for them.
Yes.
He seems like a guy within a year. I think, to me, he could be what Braun Strowman. Remember Braun Strowman in 2016 and how
were there
he was? And how he basically was their pet project?
Yeah, Wardlow. But Wardlow
Scott
already has a 3.5-star match in his pocket with Cody.
Okay. He does. Yeah, he does have a big time main event with Cody on his resume. That's true. Braun did not have that in his rookie year, or in 2016. And then Braun eventually became God mode in 2017. But yeah, he didn't. He wasn't. They kind of slow played him along until the Roman Reigns stuff. I think Wardlow's got that kind of flow to him. I think with more time, in about a year, I could see Wardlow being a monster and being like one of the top dudes on the show on AEW. I could totally see that.
There are some.
But Cody got through all three of the steps, except for obviously he's got to last this week without punching MJF, which I'm sure he will. And then he's good to go. And then we get the match with MJF and Cody on the 29th. So AEW was fire this week, absolute fire. Tremendous stuff all around.
Yep.
But next week we got the Iron Man with Pac and Omega.
Yes.
We got Jurassic Express versus Butcher and Blade. We got what else? We got.
Let me see it real quick.
Major stuff. But I know those are the major two things they were promoting and talking about.
Next week on AE. Let me do it. Those are the only two things.
Yeah, it was it. Yeah.
Probably a really passionate Cody.
Oh, I'm expecting this promo video to be amazing for Cody and MJF. This promo video should be dope. It needs to be dope.
With some really dramatic music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna have some good storytelling for that one.
So our Social Suplex boys are gonna be in Tampa.
Okay.
They live in Tampa.
So there's a good chance they're gonna go to Takeover Tampa Bay.
They live. A Mania.
Nice.
So it starts Tuesday
at
6 p.m. at the Italian Club of Tampa with Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling. Get your tickets. Then, not Game Changer Wrestling, but Generation Championship Wrestling has a card at the Italian Club, not the Cuban Club.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Game Changers the collectives running at the Cuban club. You could see how it's confusing, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. I can totally see that.
It's sort of shady, isn't it?
They're gonna have to promote, they're gonna have to promote that and kind of handle that before everyone gets down there to Tampa, so they can make sure everyone gets the proper show.
But they're only running Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the fake GCW. They're just hoping to confuse fans who get down early. But on this show, it's Cortez Castro versus Damian Angel, Mecha Wolf versus 450 versus Tajiri, Sir Rios Badu, Mecha Wolf 450. So Mecha Wolf 450 is doing double duty. Alex Riley and Sir Pentico.
Riley's still doing stuff. Tajiri's still doing stuff.
Trisha Dora, Skyward Moore, and Viva Vaughn, and Tamatanga and Tangaloa appearing live. I'm not going to read all these. I'm just going to read notable matches now because there's a lot of shit.
I believe it.
Punk Rock Pro Wrestling, Dirty Little Secret to Elevate Pro Wrestling. Start time 10 p.m. at the Italian Club of Tampa. Then Wednesday, April 1st, J-Lex takes back the power. And then Punk Pro Wrestling's been running a number of shows. Cyberpunk Pro 2020. Aaron Epic versus Daniel Makabe is an interesting match.
Okay.
Generation Championship Wrestling's running another show at 8 p.m. Chuckles the Clown King versus Eric Cannon's a match, apparently. At this generation. Platinum Pro Wrestling, Lucha Mania 4. There's no Lucha talent on this show. So Thursday, April 2nd. Free general admission for this show. It's at the courtyard of the Cuban Club. At 11 a.m. It's GCW's, so this is not the fake GCW, this is the real GCW. Game Changer Wrestling. Jimmy Lloyd's D Generation F. You're going to see a lot of these shows. It's some wrestlers' irony show. And you're going to get my opinion on it in a little bit. Blake Christian versus Jordan Oliver, which is going to be a really good match. That's going to be a really good match. I would go see that for free. Because that match is going to be good. Two young, hungry, independent wrestlers. Announced talent, Carlos Romo, Benjamin Carter, Blake Christian, Jordan Oliver, who are in the match. Myron Reed, Ace Austin, Byron Pillman Jr., Flip Bros, Atticus Carger, Koger, Starboy Charlie, Matt Demetrius. So Wolf Night Out at 12:15 a.m. The Nightmare Before Mania at the Italian Club of Tampa.
Good name.
So this is Thursday, April 2nd. So this is at night. This is actually happening Wednesday night into Thursday morning.
Okay.
So it's live. It's at the Italian Club. Live bands, burlesque performances, Lucha Libre, and Vikings. I'm not shitting you. It says Vikings. Craven, Bestia 666, Mecha Wolf, and Viva Vaughn. Accelerate Stage 1, Russell Expo, aka WWN. Brian Glazer, JCC. That's the Wrestle Expo, the World Wrestling Network Evolve. You know, that promotion group.
Okay.
They have a big WrestleMania weekend, so
I figured Evolve would put their 2 cents in.
Murder Mania Night 2. I didn't know they had a Night 1.
This is the first I've heard of Murder Mania 2.
Southern Nights, 7th Avenue, Tampa, Florida. No ring, no rules. Apparently. At the Cuban Club, 3 p.m.
Cuban Club's getting a whole lot of business on this.
This is where the Collective is. So the IWTV events are there. So they're streaming live and stuff like that. So you're going to see a whole lot of irony. But this is where all the this is the Texas Indie show. Tom Lawler, Ricky Starks, Alley Cat, Ruben Steele, and a bunch of other names. 3 p.m. at the Ritz. This is where the WrestleCon is. The WrestleCon shows will be. Yorba City, 7th Avenue, Tampa. Announced 10 New Japan Pro Wrestling Line Break 3. Yes, New Japan is doing their show. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Ren Narita, Carl Fredericks, Alex Coughlin, Clark Connors. This is like a small show, so.
Okay.
Zack Sabre Jr., El Desperado. Accelerate, Stage 2. We don't know the details because WWN doesn't really release details. Prestige Wrestling, 5 p.m. at Southern Nights. Oh, God. Have you ever seen Danhausen's gimmick before?
I can't say that I have.
I'm going to send you his Twitter.
How bad could it possibly be?
Very evil wrestling human.
Very evil wrestling human. Okay.
Married to Lulu. Book that Danhausen. It's like the Simpsons character Danhausen.
Okay. Yeah, and for those who don't know, I am a Simpsons guy, so I can. All right. Yeah. Now I understand it. Yeah. I understand Danhausen from the Simpsons, definitely.
Yes. So somebody took a character from the Simpsons.
So
it's Su Yang.
Wow. That definitely is his Twitter picture too.
I know. Andrew Everett versus Alex Zane. Effie Warhorse. You want to see the Warhorse? I'm going to send you his Twitter too. Because the Warhorse is great, man. He has a great Twitter. He has a great Twitter. I'm just sending you a bunch of irony wrestlers now. Effie, the gay wrestler. We'll get to him later because he has a big gay brunch coming up. Preview later. Sonico, Mance Warner. He has a show coming up too. Jake something. Ziggy Dice. Does Ziggy Dice have a show? Full Throttle Pro Wrestling. Tampa Bay Mania Beer Run. Three Daughters Brewing. Get tickets. And then the biggest conflict of Mania weekend. It's Friday night. Okay. It's Thursday night, actually. Because Thursday, April 2nd, has Bloodsport versus the WrestleCon Super Show. At the Cuban Club or at the Ritz. Because on one hand, Bloodsport has Jon Moxley versus Josh Barnett.
Okay.
And Minoru Suzuki versus Chris Dickinson. Also announced Jeff Cobb, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Carroll, J.R. Kratos, Eric Hammer, and Allison Kay. Yeah, Max Brados announced this show. Max Brados and from ESPN.
Nice.
And Ken Shamrock announced it. Yeah, this show is serious. It's at the Cuban Club. The only announced match for WrestleCon Super Show is Shingo versus Bandito. And Nick Aldis is defending the NWA World Title. But announced talent: Will Ospreay, Alex Zane, Jordan Oliver, Blake Christian, Zack Sabre Jr., Black Taurus, Amazing Red. So they come out with a great show every year. So
it sounds like this is gonna be a good show.
And also you have Progress. If you want to go to Progress, I want to go to Progress. No Peace Underground at 11 p.m. at the Catalina, the Cuban Club. Alley Cat's gonna be there. Uncanny Attractions, Drags and Dropkicks Volume 4. So we have Still Life. I'm going to announce this whole card because this is hilarious. Still Life with Apricots and Pears versus Sugar Dunkinton. Shotzi McKenzie, Danhausen, and RJ City versus Kandi Lee, Su Young, and Zoe Lucas. Effie versus Sunny Kiss. That match had to get booked. Ronnie Nicole versus Danny Moe, Billy Dixon, Devin Monroe. I thought it said Devin Moore. I was like, why would Devin Moore get booked on a show like this? And MV Young versus Funny Bone. WWN Super Show is not at the 8 o'clock hour. It's at the 11:55 hour. Yarber After Dark. And ICW New York No Holds Barred 3. Because for some reason, ICW New York thought they could run a show this year. So it's no submissions, no holds barred, no rules. Tessa Blanchard versus Amazing Red. This match is going to be good. Chris Dickinson versus Masashi Takeda. Nick Gage versus Loki. That should be fucking good. And S.A. Rios versus Tony Deppen.
S.A. Rios still getting it in. All right.
And then AIW Thunder in Paradise. So Matthew Justice versus Joshua Bishop, Ice Train Swoggle, the Philly Marino Experience. Friday, April 3rd, For the Culture. This is actually going to be a good show at the Cuban Club. It's actually a unique show, too. Because it's like African American wrestlers.
Okay.
So announced for this show is Too Cold Scorpio, Flip Bro, Shug D, Desmond Xavier, Trey Miguel, Myron Reed, Kristen Casanova, Jason Cade, like a bunch of black wrestlers, including Crime Time.
Yeah, I've been noticing Crime Times, especially JTG, has been all like flooding all over Twitter and Instagram with various things that he's up to.
So, and then at 11 a.m. at the Ritz is Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling with DDT. And the only announced match for that is Konosuke Takashita with Yuki Unano. And they have a bunch of announced talent for that. I'm not going to announce their name. I mess up DDT names easily. Evolve 149. Pizza Party Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
Birthday bash at the Cuban Club. 3 p.m. KTB versus Cape Van Ugg and a bunch of other matches. Super Crazy's going to be there. Tony Devin versus Eric Stevens. at the Pizza Party Wrestling. Hopefully there's pizza there. That would defeat the point.
It'd be disappointing if there weren't. That's false advertising.
So, Ethan Page's body guy extravaganza at the Ritz. Irony Wrestling. So, Brian Cage versus Scott Steiner. Your reaction?
Scott Steiner's still doing stuff.
But I'm going to read you the stipulation. 3 stages of hell.
Okay.
I'm going to read you the stages.
All right.
Stage 1. Live debate.
Oh, I'm just imagining what Steiner...
It's going to set.
Honestly, I kind of don't want Steiner to prepare a speech. I'd rather just Steiner wing it.
He's going to wing. Stage 2. Pose off.
All right, Steiner will lose. I think Steiner easily loses stage 1, but he'll definitely win stage 2.
Stage 3 match with special guest referee.
Actual match. Okay, that's funny.
Desmond Xavier, Trey Miguel versus Bodyhausen, Warrior Horse, and Juice Monkey. And then we actually have a shoot fight between Jordan Grace and John Silver. Oh my god. We actually have some serious matches, and then we got Brian Cage versus Scott Steiner in a 3 stages of hell match.
This promo right here.
This WrestleMania weekend's the greatest.
This is gonna be wild. This whole thing right here.
Impact Wrestling. Wild. TNA, there's no place like home. They're going back to the TNA roost. Mr. Anderson, D'Lo Brown, Chris Sabin, Chris Harris. Scott Steiner is going to be there. Amazing Red, P.D. Williams. At least Phoenix is not Russ. And then Spring Break. It's coming back. The Clusterfuck's coming back. Will Ospreay. Alex Shelley versus Tony Deppen. And the irony match of all irony matches. You want to take a guess of the 2 participants?
I'd rather just hear it because somehow
it's a New Japan wrestler and an AEW wrestler.
A New Japan dude and an AEW guy. Then a straight
think of the most serious New Japan dude and think of the most lackadaisical AEW dude.
The most serious one I can think of is Ishii.
Think of the most sadistic New Japan dude.
Oh, sadistic dude. Okay. Most sadistic.
He leads his own stable.
He probably leads Los Ingobernables de Japón?
No.
No, I'm thinking...
It's a group.
Thinking Evil?
Goon. Suzuki.
Oh, Goon. Oh, Suzuki-Goon.
Minoru
Suzuki.
And then lackadaisical AEW. We talked about him earlier.
Orange Cassidy?
Yup. That's the match.
Okay, that should actually be pretty funny. That should actually be pretty good.
The irony matches of all irony matches. It's over after this weekend. Because such brilliant marketing by Janela.
That is actually well done. I'm not even going to hate on that. Well done, Joey Janela.
So, Marcus Crange, Bondage, a Go-Go. Tom Lawler versus Effie. Power versus Jamie Senegal. Ziggy Dice, Eddie Only versus Death Dales. Sexy Eddie and Corey Dice. Live BDSM performances. Burlesque.
I mean, it's Florida, so it's Florida, so that kind of stuff is like that doesn't faze me too much. They're actually doing it during a wrestling show. That is wild.
No ring death matches and music. At 11:59, you probably have to be 18 to 10, but
sure, because the BDSM stuff, sure.
It's not like you're a kid walking in on that shit. It's SmackDown Live. Kaiju Big Battle. Have you ever seen Kaiju Big Battle?
I have not.
I'm going to send you a YouTube clip.
Because what? We got the Hall of Fame on Thursday for WWE, and then SmackDown Friday, Takeover Saturday, WrestleMania Sunday, and then Raw on Monday. Which kind of like that opens up the new year effectively for WWE. So it's kind of how. So even then, you got some wild stuff happening there. So.
All right, so here's the sizzle roll. You're gonna be amazed. And notable wrestlers have appeared in Kaiju Big Battle, like Kota Ibushi. And wrestled in the costumes. Watch the sizzle roll right now, and I want your immediate reaction.
I'm firing it up right now. All right, so while this is happening, and that's a big-time WrestleMania weekend that you just described, we got the biggest heavyweight fight in the last few years since the first time these two dudes battled in the end of 2018. Wilder Fury 2. The first one was a draw, and it was an incredible fight. Ultimately, I thought Wilder was going to win the fight. It looked like Wilder should have won the fight, but
Fury won.
Got to a draw. But Fury survived to the end and worked out a draw. They've already had one of the boxing promoters actually banned Wilder Fury after the confrontation a couple of days ago. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, NSAC banned Wilder Fury a face-off after the weigh-in. They had a face-off, and there was a whole lot of drama that happened.
No
during
shit.
The face-off. It's obvious that Wilder and Fury respect each other, but they both have unfinished business against each other.
They don't like each other.
These are the two. Yeah, that's pretty established. These two, and I think Anthony Joshua's third. These are your three heavyweights. These are legitimately your three heavyweights right now in the game right now. Who you got? How many rounds? Is it a knockout?
Wilder, 10th round knockout.
I think this goes 12 again, but I agree Wilder finishes him with the right hand. I think Wilder would have had him in the 12th round in the last fight, but somehow Fury got up. I think this goes 12 again and Wilder knocks him out.
Your thoughts on Kaiju Big Battle?
I would tell you if it actually loaded up. It did not. The video so far is unavailable.
Oh.